That's a good boy.
The plot of Benji was two kids in it, a boy and a girl, and they own a dog named Benji. The two kids get kidnapped. Benji saves them. And on the way, Benji meets a girl dog.
I believe you found yourself a girlfriend.
I don't know that frontiersman on the prairie had perms the way Michael Landon had a perm, but he certainly looked good.
Yeah, he was awesome. He was like the perfect dad. Wanted that Michael Landon for a daddy. Loved mine, but, you know, wouldn't have minded putting on my prairie shoes for a week or two.
Hubba hubba. Yeah, he was a pretty hot dad.
I mean, really, the show was Laura.
Look at the country girl. Made me so mad I wanted to smack her good.
Laura was a little bit of a spitfire.
Half pint, I believe was her nickname.
Laura Ingalls was too much for me, man.
I was like the Laura Ingalls, without the buck teeth. Who always ended up laughing last? Laura Ingalls. Who always ended up on the outs? Nellie Olson.
Go through a file cabinet in his office and come out in his Hong Kong Phooey outfit.
I don't know what I'm saying, but it sure sounds good.
My mom had this filing cabinet. I was like 6. She called me one day trying to jump in the file cabinet. I thought that, like Hong Kong Phooey, if I jump in the file cabinet, I'll come out and I'll be a superhero. Not too bright.
Dynamite!
Oh, Dynamite. Oh, Jimmy Walker.
That character got on my nerves. A kid? Oh, Dynamite! Hey! I was like, oh my God, I hope I don't ever go out with no guy looking like that.
Everything was dynamite, except their lives, which apparently sucked. Things are so depressing in good times that they bring in Janet Jackson.
JJ, what a super name.
She was really good. I believed her. She was so sweet and soft-spoken. Hi, JJ.
Is there something you want? Uh-huh. Yeah.
And then when the father died...
My character was killed off.
He died? I thought he left the house. I said another black man left the family.
It's like the thrill of checkers vertically.
You put in a red, and then your opponent puts in a black.
And you try to get 4 in a row. The 4 in a row, they can be vertical. They can be horizontal. Guess what? They can be diagonal.
It's tic-tac-toe.
Gotcha. 4 cross. One more game.
Let's start this stupid game all over again.
Let's Make a Deal had very little to do with the barter system as I understood it.
Let's Make a Deal just showed you that all you need to do is give people a form, and they will look like a total jackass and act like one just to be on television.
Well, it's a $1,000.
For some reason, to participate in Let's Make a Deal, you had to pretend it was Halloween.
I'm going to make a deal with you right now. That macaroni's yours unless you'd rather have $400 in cash.
They would play a game where they would just basically have to choose amongst a couple of curtains.
Door number 1, door number 2, door number 3. Which is gonna be?
Now, the big deal's worth $9,600, and it's behind door number 1, or door number 2, or door number 3,
And then the audience would yell at you like they had an idea. Curtain number 2, curtain number 2.
You got him talking to him.
Number 2.
Door number 2, the one that you chose, first of all.
But sometimes it would be what's called a zonk, where it would be bad.
Genius, don't 2 big pigs in a book.
Not good.
I'll take door number 2. It's a donkey. Oh, what am I going to do with a donkey?
He's adorable, isn't he? And so is the donkey. All right.
I actually pictured people, you know, leaving the studio, you know, pulling their donkey with them.
That's what you would hope for. Pick the wrong door. To see the look of disappointment on their face when they go home with nothing.
A fresh flounder. We have got salami. Pizza, ostrich.
But that was the fun of it. You never knew whether you were going to walk away with treasure or garbage. People were streaking at ball games. People were streaking at the Oscars.
I remember the streaking during the Academy Awards when David Niven was on.
The guy streaking right across the stage. Woo!
He said, didn't that gentleman just reveal his shortcomings? He did a joke during the Academy Awards.
Coming up, the classic movie scene that was truly a gas.
Plot of Blazing Saddles, Fart jokes in the Old West.
Plus, slipping, sliding, and breaking limbs.
You know, there's some really dumbass people that would put it on like their concrete porch.
So it wouldn't have been slip and slide. It would have been like, I'm about to bust my ass.
74 was a huge Mel Brooks year because his two best movies, Blazing Saddles and Young Frankenstein, came out in 1 year.
Budget? We don't need no stinking budget.
I think Blazing Saddles was probably the hardest anyone I knew ever laughed in the theater, period.
Francis. No, it's like Miss Sugar.
Blazing Saddles was a hilarious comedy by Mel Brooks and probably the first, what we like to call now, gross-out comedy.
We've never seen probably so many farts on the silver screen in one moment ever.
The whole flatulence symphony is really amazing.
It's brutal, but it's funny.
Plot of Blazing Saddles, fart jokes in the Old West. That was the plot of that one. Oh, and black jokes.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
That guy's got a huge wiener! Now that's comedy.
The N-word is bandied about in that movie about once every 30 seconds.
Can't you see that man is a nigger?
Which wouldn't fly today, but back then apparently it could.
Wrong person, forgive me.
Just what they got away with in that movie is stunning. But, you know, in today's PC world, if you tried that movie, can you imagine the firestorm?
Look what I got here.
The latest pictures in post offices describe Miss Hearst as extremely dangerous.
Patricia Hearst abduction was a huge news story.
She was on this great adventure, and I was like, God, why don't they kidnap me? You know, my life sucks.
I just hope that you'll do what they say, Dad, and just do it quickly.
Patty Hearst was this heiress, and then she got kidnapped by the SLA.
The Symbionese Liberation Army. I always wanted to learn how to speak Symbionese.
Do the Symbionese need to be liberated? Well, should we help? Who are the Symbionese?
They may have been sickos, but they had a great sense of style. The beret with the machine gun.
All of a sudden, you see her, like, with a gun at the bank.
She voluntarily took part in a bank robbery.
She was kidnapped. She was brainwashed. She was bored. Just a bored little rich girl.
And to this day, she's still claiming she was brainwashed, but most of us did not buy her line of bullshit.
And I would never choose to live the rest of my life surrounded by pigs like the Hearst.
But she was kind of hot. Women with guns. It was just, I don't know.
Steve McQueen was a fireman.
Yeah.
Newman was the architect. Richard Chamberlain was the handsome guy.
It's being rather blunt, isn't it?
Paul Newman, Steve McQueen, running through a burning building. That is just great.
Towering Inferno is my favorite Fred Astaire disaster movie.
See if you can find which of these doesn't belong. I'm going to read a list. Paul Newman, Steve McQueen, Fred Astaire, O.J. Simpson.
Damn it, man, get on the ball. Call an ambulance.
O.J. Simpson playing a security guard. How ironic.
No, you stay where you are. I'll get him down.
At the time of the Towering Inferno, O.J. Simpson seemed like the best person to sort of hook up with to keep you safe.
He sees a cat in the movie. It's the best thing O.J.'s ever done.
Kitty, who's missed you?
Yeah, I'd have felt safe with O.J. As a security guard, because if the going got tough, he's pretty creative and pretty quick.
Hey, Bill, tune in the main utility room.
But in retrospect, maybe Fred Astaire was a better bet.
Foxy Brown was sort of like a single Charlie's Angels. She was just all those girls into one.
She's the Dirty Harry of hot black women.
She would just be real sexy and whipping their ass.
She could stab you, she could shoot you. She shoots women in it, which is hot.
She was badass, no question about it.
She shoots ugly white guys, which is so necessary and frankly isn't done enough. Both in real life and in the movies.
If mainstream law enforcement isn't going to get the job done, well then Foxy Brown will cut off your nards.
She chopped off his manhood. Yeah, we'll say that. That's classy.
From your boyfriend.
She hands over a pickled jar with a special surprise inside. That's just...
Before.
Coming up, the coolest guy you'll ever hang with.
Huge crush on the Fonz. I just thought he was amazing.
What Ali takes poetic license.
We gonna rumble in the jungle.
Muhammad Ali is a poet, and yet the title of the fight is Rumble in the Jungle. Doesn't rhyme.
Next on I Love 1974. But first, remember this?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Holiday movie. Family fun.
Cult classic.
Oh my God, I remember at a sleepover and we rented Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Scared the living daylights out of us.
We gonna rumble in the jungle.
In 1974, Muhammad Ali fought George Foreman in Zaire.
Ali, that mean kill him.
Rumble in the Jungle was one of the greatest fights ever.
We gonna get it on because we don't get along.
I'm pretty. I'm young and I'm pretty. Nobody can lay a glove on me.
I'm dancing. Follow me, son. No, I'm not there. I'm here. What?
Muhammad Ali is a poet, and yet the title of the fight is Rumble in the Jungle. It doesn't rhyme. The rhyme scheme is entirely up.
There's so many athletes who have come since then who either try to emulate Ali and sort of now passe, but he was the first.
What made it great, he was such a huge underdog. He was fighting George Foreman. There was no way.
Now here comes the heavyweight champion of the world, George Foreman.
I said, Ali does not stand a chance.
It's age against youth.
I remember being like 9 years old. I'm like, oh, I don't want him to fight him. I don't want Ali to get hurt.
We were just praying that Muhammad Ali wouldn't get killed, you know, because George Foreman was so powerful.
Here we go, Ali quickly across the round.
Do it, death. I mean, you think that he's just killing Ali. He's just punching him and punching him.
Muhammad Ali is taking some punishment now.
Ali just stood there on the ropes and took his beating, and everybody thought that, well, he's about to go down.
Pow! It dawned on you, Ali's running the okey doke on George Foreman.
He was sort of just taking the beating and playing possum, if you will.
Ali, a sneaky right hand.
You're basically covered up, so he's not getting in good shots. But you let him tire himself out by punching you. Down. Just,
Just let George punch himself out.
And came off the ropes and just knocked Foreman right on his ass.
Pow!
He just...
And everybody's calls that the rope-a-dope since then.
After that fight, you knew who the greatest.
But George Foreman gets the last laugh. Because everybody has a Foreman grill in their home, don't they? Mm-hmm.
Death Wish is the one where Charles Bronson, he's an old softie.
Charles Bronson, wife and daughter are viciously attacked.
And he goes on a killing spree.
Coming up, the Fonz nails every chick this side of Joni and Mrs. C.
Hey, the Fonz was getting a lot of action. He was getting more ass than a toilet seat.
And speaking of toilet seats...
Sit on it, Potsy.
Happy Days, next on I Love 1974. But first...
Fonz jumped a shark on water skis. Yeah, that did suck.
Fonz wearing motorcycle boots and a leather jacket and a bathing suit on water skis on a Hawaiian vacay with the Cunninghams.
He was really good with the ladies. And who didn't do the thing where who hasn't hit a jukebox, you know?
The Fonz was getting a lot of action. He was getting more ass than a toilet seat.
Hey, Ramona, I mailed you a Valentine. Why don't you go home and wait for it?
Kaboom, kaboom. Oh, Fonzie, kaboom. If he's living upstairs from you, you have insomnia.
I don't know what everybody saw about the Fonz. I just had like a major crush on Richie Cunningham.
Hey, you don't want to go out with me, do you?
Richie had love problems.
I can't get myself to talk to a girl that I don't know very well.
Richie had no game at all.
Cunningham, my office.
The Fonz was Richie's best friend, but he never got him laid. What's up? Help a brother out.
I thought Ralph Malph tried a little too hard.
You're saying my hair is too neat? I'm too cute?
girls crave my bot? I don't think they're saying that.
Anson Williams was Potsy.
Potsy, not down with Potsy whatsoever.
Sit on it, Potsy.
Tom Bosley. Oh, yeah. He was the father, Mr. Cunningham.
Marianne Ross, Mrs. Cunningham.
Howard, are you getting frisky?